So we opened with the Toymaker in 1925, selling Stooky Bill to one of John Logie Bair's assistants. Neil Patrick's performance here is so ridiculous and over the top, it's turned up to 12. He's doing this terrible German accent, but it's like an in-character terrible accent. It's like the Toymaker himself is doing a terrible German accent. I think this type of performance wouldn't work a lot of the time, but Neil Patrick Harris just manages to pull it off with his natural amount of overwhelming charisma.
I really must apologize for the rain.
You must be used to sunnier climes.
I was born in Cheltenham. Your accent seems to have slipped.
I hope the kiddies enjoy him.
Hard cut to modern day London in complete chaos. Murray Gold does a beautiful, epic, big rising score here. We see a little moment of some doubling Wilf here because unfortunately Bernard Cribbins passed away before they could film this episode. You can see the little shots here where it's some guy in a wig and a fake beard, and then at the end he doesn't show up because he's shooting moles, which is sad. I really wish he was in this episode, but we got him. We got him for that scene, and I'm thankful that we did.
Get him to safety, all right? Never mind about us. I want my granddad safe, all right? You got that?
Yes, ma'am. We'll keep your family safe.
We then get a very traditional Doctor Unit exposition type sequence where the problem is laid out and all the parameters. Mel is revealed here. I have to say that I absolutely love Classic Who, and I fell in love with Classic Who before I fell in love with New Who, but I haven't watched much of the Sylvester McCoy era or the Colin Baker era. I've seen a fair few Sylvester stories towards the end with Ace, but I think I've only seen one or two stories with Mel, so unfortunately I have no emotional connection to her here. It doesn't mean anything to me. The Doctor's saying stuff to her, I'm like, huh? I love the fact that they're including any element of Classic Who into this show. I'll always tip my hat to that, and I'll always love it. And someday I will have seen those episodes with Mel, and I'll come back to this episode and its meaning will completely shift. I love that about media. You can watch a movie and then 10 years later rewatch it and have a completely different emotional response based on how you've changed as a human being and how the world has changed in that time that's passed. So it's great that Mel's here, but I'm sorry, it didn't mean anything to me.
I travelled the stars. Good old Sablon Blitz. He lived till he was 101.
What?
Died falling over a whiskey bottle. That's a perfect way to go. He had this great big Viking funeral, and I thought, time to go home.
Kate Stewart then demonstrates this mind virus that's infected all of humanity. There's violent delirium washes over her. I've grown to love Kate Stewart over the years. At the beginning, she was just like there. I was like, eh. But now she seems to have this like bigger history that she's been in the show so long, and she feels more like the Brigadier's daughter to me. She's starting to feel warm, and I'm starting to enjoy her character more than I did in the beginning.
And as for her in that chair, I've seen you walk. I've seen you walking. Don't deny it.
I made a bunch of jokes about that in my Star Beast review. Little did I know she has spina bifida, the character and the actress. My initial reaction when I saw somebody sitting in a wheelchair moving their legs was, what? But yeah, in retrospect, I've done some research and I've learned about this character and this actress and this disease. So there you go. The inclusion of her has helped spread the word about this lady and what she's dealing with in her life and how it's different from mine. Shirley, I am truly sorry.
Absolutely no need.
Donna discovers that this hidden pattern is an arpeggio of this rhythmic laugh. Stooky Bill, the first ever thing to be captured on television. His image has been in every screen ever since then, hypnotizing us. This is a very, very Doctor Who premise, and I love it. It's nonsensical when you think about it, but it's so fun, and it's so spooky and gothic, and it's just great, and it feels like Doctor Who so much.
Since the very first existence of television, laughing at the human race, driving you mad.
I have to say that David Tennant's hair in these 60th anniversaries is great. In the 50th, it was so flat and un-Tennant-like. It almost looked like Matt Smith's hair when they were next to each other. It was way too similar, but here he has so much height. His hair's up here. It looks great. It looks brilliant. I know that's a little thing to pick on, but I mean, David Tennant, the man, is looking fine all these years later.
The human race might be clever and bright and brilliant. It's also savage and venal and relentless. All the anger out there on the street, the lies, the righteousness, that's human, that's you, that's who you are.
Donna manages to snare a job from Unit here, and I like the idea that Unit just sees any companion that the Doctor's ever had and just jumps on them and tries to get them in their business. It makes complete sense that if the Doctor has let somebody onto the TARDIS and travel with him, that they would offer something to Unit. And I like the idea of Unit trying to snare all these companions, no matter how trivial they are or how long they're with him or any of their like major shortcomings that are obvious. Then we jettison back to 1929 in the hunt for Stooky Bill, this MacGuffin that's hypnotized all of humanity into this violent delirium here. It's a very quick-paced, energetic narrative that rolls on. In amidst this fast-paced thriller, Donna stops the Doctor and asks him why he continues to roll from one disastrous situation into the next. She says that she can feel his hurt and his fatigue and how worn out and broken and tired he is. It's a great little character moment in this eve of the 14th as he's about to leave. We're revealed more about not just his character but the Doctor as a character from the last 60 years and how he's just not dealing with any of these emotional moments and just rolling from one situation into the next. It was a great little character moment here on the eve of 14th's regeneration.
I got a glimpse inside your mind and it's like you're staggering. You are staggering along. Maybe that's why your old face came back. You're wearing yourself out.
The Doctor and Donna encounter the Toymaker here and tension just begins to surge. I love this inclusion of this classic 60s villain here. It was a brilliant decision by Russell T Davies. I went back and watched the 4th episode of, what is it called? Is the original serial called The Celestial Toymaker? Let's just roll with that. I went back and watched the 4th episode. Unfortunately, the first 3 episodes are missing. But yeah, there were some moments where I didn't really know what was going on because I missed the first 3 fucking quarters of the story. But yeah, he's a great villain, and his inclusion here was a brilliant move by Russell T Davies. No fucking Daleks, no Cybermen. We've seen them a million times. We don't need to see them again. There is so much mythos and lore and world building in Classic Who. There's like 30 years of it and like fucking 23 seasons of it. It's just there for the taking. So many brilliant, amazing stories that all these new Who fans have never seen or heard of that you can pull from. This gothic horror maze then entraps the Doctor and Donna. I love this tone shift. It was like an upbeat spy thriller that just shifts suddenly into this dark, psychological, gothic horror. This sequence here is executed brilliantly, and this mishmash of different genres is a Who staple and one of its more brilliant ideas, just to collectively pulp everything into one show. It's great. What other show shifts a genre that quick and manages to execute the gothic horror elements to this level, considering that it's not just that type of show, it's so much more. We get this broken husk of a man paraded on strings. We get this encounter between the Toymaker and the Doctor, but the thing that takes the cake in this gothic horror maze is Stooky Sue and the Stooky Butterbees. This fucking little puppet here, it rhymes, it's so dark and ominous and amazing with a hint of Classic Who silliness, and you just can't say... Well, I mean, what else can I say about this sequence? It was just executed brilliantly, and I loved it. The little puppet and its rhymes and the way it was shot and edited and the tone and Murray Gold's music, it was all brilliant and beautiful.
I lost my precious hubby.
They threw me in the cubby.
They're not real.
They took my Bill away. I'm on him every day. He won't come home to me because they burnt him on TV.
I fucking love this puppet show here. It keeps on creeping into my mind when I'm making dinner or at work. Neil Patrick Harris's ridiculous accents here and this over-the-top character make him somehow creepy and compelling. Just his line delivery and his performance here is amazing. I love the fact that they address and bring light on the Moffat trope of killing off every companion, but them not really being dead. It's just, yeah, he would kill off the companions but then double back every time. It's like, yeah. Just when the Doctor tries to justify it and that's all right then. It was so, there's something great about it that it's hard for me even to pin down, but it has a lot to do with Neil Patrick Harris's performance.
But she was killed by a bird.
She still survives in her last second of life.
Well, that's all right then.
The Doctor and the Toymaker here have a competition and the Toymaker wins, forcing this best of 3 situation of mass proportion on the eve of 14th generation. The stakes are so high here and I'm so immersed. They just built up this third act so well. You can just feel all these pieces moving as it picks up in suspense.
Best of 3.
Best of 3.
Then let's make it 2023.
I love Catherine Tate, but I have to say her running here isn't particularly convincing. I don't feel like she could have outrun this collapsing hellscape, and I don't feel like she could outrun many things. But that's alright. I love you nonetheless, even if not a great runner. This sequence was amazing and crazy. This Spice Girls song works so well, even though I was a 10-year-old boy when all things Spice Girls exploded, so I absolutely hate the Spice Girls, obviously. Neil Patrick Harris's dancing and performance is great, and these really quick, manic cuts in the editing as a Toymaker just fucking goes from here to there, to over here, then over there. It's fun and ridiculous and silly, but somehow psychotic. The Toymaker turning these unit guards into balls and the Doctor in complete seriousness saying, "I'm sorry they're dead," makes me laugh every single fucking time. It's this juxtaposition of this fun, upbeat, energetic sequence with these dark, horrific moments. Once again, it's, yeah, these like chaotic mashings of these 2 completely different genres, which makes this kind of interesting and fascinating to me on a creative level.
What happened to them? They're dead. I'm sorry.
After all the dancing and rose petals have subsided, we get this clash of these cosmic characters here as this showdown transpires. The Toymaker is on this massive laser and he stares down the Doctor here, and Tennant gives one last great performance as the Doctor as he gives this enheartened speech about kindness and friendship and ethics.
We can take your games back to the stars. We can play across the cosmos. We can be celestial.
The Doctor dies, he gets ran through by this giant laser, and this very traditional regeneration sequence begins to transpire, and then all of a sudden all the emotion is undercut by this weird, awkward and unexpected moment where Shooty is pulled out of David.
Pull?
Could I? What?
And you?
What do you mean?
Pull.
Oh.
Just pull each way. I don't know. Feels different this time. Ow!
I'm sure when most people first watched this episode, they had no idea what was going on. I was completely shocked and surprised, but I think that's a good thing. I think you need that to be engaged in medium. I can't keep on going to fucking Marvel movies and seeing the same old CGI nightmare again and again and again and again and again. It was, yeah, great that I was surprised and things happened that I didn't see coming. It's tradition for an anniversary to have a multi-Doctor story. I was hoping for Capaldi here, but I have to say, Shruti and David bouncing off each other is fucking amazing. Shruti seems fun and compelling and different. I feel like he's gonna do something quite unique with this character, and I'm down for this journey and I'm completely invested in seeing what he does with it. I think he's gonna do a great job, and it's so great that in this day and age we finally included such a big demographic into the Doctor Who lineage, that being that the Doctor finally has facial hair. I know that there's been some sideburns here and there, but bam, a mustache. Finally, after 60 fucking years, we have a Doctor with fucking facial hair, and I tell you what, it's about time, people. It's about fucking time.
I have bi-generated. There's no such thing. Bi-generation is supposed to be a myth, but... Look at me.
I think they missed the opportunity here to have a really compelling, complex battle between the Toymaker and the Doctors. I feel like a more sophisticated, cerebral clash here would have been far more compelling. The ball game's fun, sure. I absolutely love the gag of the Doctors both wearing 14th's costume, like the costume split between them, that's great. But yeah, I don't know, the ball game, I just feel like they could have done something way cooler, like an actual puzzle. The Toymaker literally drops the ball here and is packed away into a cute little parcel. We see his tooth get picked up by John Sims' wife? Maybe?
Sarah Jane has gone. Can you believe that for a second? I loved her.
I loved her as well. R.I.P. Elizabeth Sladen. I'll miss you.
You're thin as a pin, love. You've been running on fumes.
That's what I keep saying.
It's funny here that in the show, Shruti is the veteran and 14 is like naive and younger than him. But in real life, their roles are completely reversed, with Tennant being the veteran of the show and Shruti being the new guy. I think it's nice and heartwarming that 14 gets a happy ending here, that he gets to retire with his companion and doesn't just disappear. Regeneration always was kind of used as a tool to talk about death and how everything passes, and you know, we loved that era and that actor, but they're gone, and here we don't get that. But I mean, we've got that a lot, so I'm glad I did something different. And I just feel like, you know, it can only be good. Russell T Davies has left David Tennant alive and well here as the Doctor for a reason. He may not pop up in the next 3 years, but at some point in time, he's there, he exists in this world, and there's no way that they're not going to use him at some point for some reason, and that can only be a net positive. How can more David Tennant as the Doctor be negative ever? It can't. Fuck it. It's David Tennant, he's the Doctor. We all want him, we all love him, fucking keep him in there, he's alive. Let's see him pop up in a couple years. In the next season. Let's see him pop up right now. Let's get 10 episodes with him. No, I'm joking. Shruti's the guy. We're all behind Shruti.
Oh, that's not bad. Wheelchair accessible.
At last! You finally caught up with the 21st century!
Yeah.
Here is mine.
Is this too silly? Maybe. Maybe.
That is completely nuts.
A great little cheeky goodbye, and 15 is off on his adventures, and I mean, I'm in. I'm down for the second Russell T Davies era. It could fall completely to pieces and be garbage, but I am invested enough now because of these specials to be there to watch it fall to pieces, and that'll be fun as well. But I think Russell T Davies has this. We'll see.
Did you drive?
No, I got a lift off a Zingo.
In conclusion, this was my favorite episode of these 60th anniversary specials. They got better and better. First one was good and nostalgic, the second one was batshit crazy and better, and this third one was great. Neil Patrick Harris was amazing, David Tennant was amazing, Ncuti Gatwa was amazing, Catherine Tate was amazing, Russell T Davies did a great job of writing it. I love this old classic 60s villain being brought back. I love these combining of genres. There were silly, dumb moments, but I mean, there wouldn't be Doctor Who without some silly, dumb moments, would it? It just, more than anything, it's brought me back into this world when I was burnt out and I needed a break and I hadn't really participated in it for 4 years or so. And it's reinvigorated my love for this show that I'd forgotten about. Not really forgotten about, but yeah, I was just having a break. I kind of burnt out with Doctor Who. But now I'm back and I'm in and I want to see what happens with Ncuti and Russell T Davies. Alright, thank you all for watching. Really up out. Watch my Christmas special, blah 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 blah. Comment, hit that bell. You'll know how it is. YouTube jazz.